Hey, what's up? I'm here with Paper Lions. We got Colin and John, guys. What's up? Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
How's it going?
Very well.
Congratulations on the release of the record today. How's it feel? I mean, it's out.
Feels really good.
Relief.
It's been,
Sweet relief.
a long time. It's probably been, what, 2 years?
Yeah, you know, from start to finish, I guess it's been a solid 2 years. Sort of a year of that took most the planning stage, and the year after was the recording and the continued planning stage.
Yeah,
So
a lot of planning.
A lot of planning.
A
Yeah.
lot of
So,
planning.
It feels very good.
Yeah, no, I mean, for 2 years, it's a long time to have that anticipation for a record to drop.
Yes.
You know? Was there a reason you guys only did 7 songs? Was it?
Going into the record, a previous release, we kind of felt like we were 3 different bands. Not that we disliked any one of those bands, but just sonically it was kind of going in different directions, and we wanted to, that's part of the reason we took a year off to write the record, was to kind of figure out what we wanted to be, what we wanted to sound like. So throughout that year we'd written a bunch of songs in a bunch of styles. And after probably 8 or 9 months, we sat back and we started looking at them all, and 6 or 7 of them sort of went off in a direction that we felt really good about, and those ended up being the 6 songs on Trophies.
Cool. I mean, you can hear that sort of connection throughout it. It's pretty rocky. It's a little bit poppy as well. You know, talk a little bit about the record. I mean, talk about that straight up rock sound.
Well, we really wanted to have, like, one thing that we've always heard throughout our career is, you know, oh, you guys are so great live. Like the record sounds nothing like that. So we really wanted to get that live off the floor sort of sound that, you know, most bands sort of strive for. So we hooked up with just a friend that we had met, you know, a year or 2 prior, named Dan Weston, and he's done stuff like Attack in Black and, you know, even some hip hop stuff, like Classified and stuff. And he's, you know, just a really relaxed guy, and we really liked his vibe. And after him seeing us live a couple times, he sort of got it, and he wanted to do everything, you know, very basic and just very, very few overdubs, and that's kind of what we did. And I think it harnessed that live rockin' energy.
Now, you guys mentioned you were in sort of 3 other bands. Does that mean we're going to see like a black metal EP or
Possibly.
maybe a hip hop?
You never can tell.
It's true, you know.
What were those other?
We're not closing those doors.
What were those other sounds that you guys were sort of? I've never really.
You know what? To be honest, I think it was probably how would you describe this? 3 sounds, but all within one sound. Like it, it was all still pop rock. There was just maybe a bit more classic rock leaning, and then
Some stuff would be like really epic sounding.
Yes, there would definitely
Some
be
stuff
epic.
would be like
a bit folky.
folky.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And then there was just this sort of like, I don't know what you call the pop rock that's on Trophies, was that other direction that we ended up choosing.
An interesting story about the 3 different bands that I don't know if it validates it or or not, but we played a show for Gene Simmons once here when he came to Toronto a year and a half ago or so.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were talking to him after the set, and he basically just said that, like, you know, you guys sounded like 3 or 4 different bands up there. Every song was completely different, like, and he kind of, you know, really liked one song in particular, and he thought we should go in his direction. But, you know, we didn't really take too much consideration
Completely
in that.
dismissed it.
Good.
But old Gene was right in the end.
It's true.
Actually.
It's absolutely true. We
ended
completely
up-
dismissed it, and we're looking a year later, we're like, wait a second, the one song that he chose, Trouble, is the last song on the record. And, you know, although Trouble doesn't sound as much like the other songs, it's definitely in that vein of music.
Yeah,
So,
it's funny.
old Gene's got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't let the tongue fool you.
Did he try to sell you guys stuff?
Not much. He was
casket.
He was talking to
He was trying to
Dave
sell a
about
casket.
not getting married and all this stuff, and
Trimming his beard.
Right.
trimming his beard.
Yeah.
Right.
Not wearing plaid.
That's cool. That's gotta be a bit of a trip, though. Gene Simmons, hanging out with Gene Simmons.
Yeah, it was. It was like
weird.
a strange.
very
he's
weird.
like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
It's like you don't picture him like live in person.
The man is not an actor like he is the man you think he is. It's exactly who he is. Like Gene Simmons is Gene Simmons. There's
Unfortunately.
no other character.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
So I wanted to ask you guys about coming from PEI, because we've had only one other band that's come in here that's from PEI that we are aware of, at least. Tim Chasen. speak a little bit about coming from PEI and how you guys got into music, being from there.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Tim. Like, we've known Tim since we're like kids playing school sports. He grew up in like us, like a rural sort of community.
Yeah.
Sort of in the outskirts of PEI, and we just sort of grew up together. John and his brother Rob, who's also in the band, grew up across the road from me, and we started playing whenever we were just kids, teaching each other our first G, C, and D on the guitar. And the guys met Dave in high school, and we always played in sort of bad sort of punk bands whenever we were in junior high and high school. And after John had gone away and written some songs, took some time off after high school and came back, and we sort of put this project together, and here we are 6 years later, which is kind of frightening to actually say.
Any advice that you guys would give? Maybe a band coming from a smaller town or a rural spot?
Move to Toronto.
Right on.
Not true. We all still live on PEI, which is something that we want to continue to do as long as we can. And it's just been about perseverance, essentially, for us. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, we did our first show in overseas, where we played in China. And it was
Talk
really
about that, actually.
well, it was part of the World Expo that was going on.
Yeah.
And so we were there as part of the Canadian, contingency that was happening with the pavilion and all this stuff. And
How do they even select a band?
that's a good
how do they pick,
question.
We don't really know. Cirque du Soleil were doing the production for the whole event.
Okay.
Which was pretty cool. I mean, going there, it wasn't like the typical sort of Canadiana feel you would assume that the pavilion would be. I mean, a lot of it was like sort of abstract artistic impressions of Canada, but it's very cool how they specifically picked the sort of, it wasn't really like musical groups they chose. They chose like sort of cultural groups spanning all genres of art and culture in Canada.
Yeah.
They only had a select few rock bands, us,
Yeah.
Hey Rosetta,
Better
Jets
with
Overhead.
Soundclash.
Nice.
Jets
Yeah.
Overhead, yeah.
Nice. And what's
Creature Turner, although she's more R&B.
Oh yes, little R&B.
Yeah.
That's the diversity you were talking about there.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like? I mean, playing there for the first time.
Shanghai was, it was incredible. I mean, as a band, we've never been overseas before, and so, after slugging it out for 5.5 years, it felt pretty epic, I think, to get over
definitely.
there and perform. We weren't really sure what the performances would be like. We were kind of warned that the Chinese audiences might be a bit timid, large groups might get up in the middle of a set and leave. Like, not be upset, they would just leave.
We actually got warned of that.
Yeah,
They said
yeah.
that they're like, not very responsive, and they don't have the same social niceties of a rock show that we might have.
How'd you guys hold up?
We didn't find that at all, though.
Very
We
good.
found it was great. I don't know if it was Shanghai or if we were just playing particularly well that week, but we didn't find it was bad. I mean, there were great audiences. Actually, during one song on America's stage, which is like the stage where all of the North and South American cultural groups would play during the day, there was this old Chinese man got up and started dancing to like sort of an old folk tune that we were playing. And like full out like
the
shuffle,
funniest dancing ever.
really, it was hilarious.
Just letting loose.
It was great though.
Next video, maybe? Next video?
Maybe.
Yeah.
We wish we
Somebody
had the
did-
video
I
camera.
think somebody did film it actually.
Yeah, I think maybe Dorothy.
Yeah,
has
there
some.
might have been a little film. You should throw that up on YouTube.
You guys do have something up on YouTube. You have a new video. Talk about Lost the War.
Well, we shot it actually
Crazy
not
video.
that long ago. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Yeah, we can't actually take a lot of credit for it because if you see the video, you can tell that a lot of it was done in post-production. So we kind of worked with this guy, JP Poliquin, and he just had this whole concept, this flip book thing, and we knew that a lot would be done in post-production. And we'd been a little bit scared with music videos in the past. We were a bit frightened to put it all in his hands after the fact, but he did an outstanding job. We just kind of showed up one day, did our green screen bits, and then he sent us back like this amazing, technical, crazy flip book thing. But actually, the interesting thing about it was whenever we kind kind of got the first rough cut of the video back, there was like some of the vocals that weren't like completely matching up. They're like a little bit off, and we were like, yeah, JP, do you think you could maybe, you know, sync those up a little bit better? And he's like, no, not really, because he had actually physically cut down every individual frame into a flipbook size and like flipped them with his hands and filmed his hands doing it. So
His
it was
entire
like,
apartment was like covered with my face
yeah,
for a couple of
it
weeks.
was all.
Yeah, it was pretty.
So it's very real and labor intensive.
Yeah,
so
it sounds like a daunting task.
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, I mean, did you guys have? I guess one of the questions I wanted to ask was like, did you guys have the, you know, the idea for that video? Like, were you like, we want it to look like this, or were you just like, here, do your thing?
Not really. I mean, we went into it with a few ideas of what we certainly didn't want.
Yeah,
But,
aesthetically, we're pretty, you know, going after something, and I think JP sort of got that from the get-go, and he had like the whole concept from the flip book to the faces changing and all these different elements that you see in the video. It's kind of his baby.
Yeah. We're really not very familiar with green screens. You know, it's the same
Yeah.
as the moving lions and things behind us right now that we can't see, but the audience can see. You know, the fire-breathing
Yeah,
dragons.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of
Snake.
crazy
Really
things.
didn't want to draw
We're just
attention
super
to this thing.
unfamiliar with that.
Damn it. I wish it was a green screen. That'd be awesome.
It's not.
Lions would be eating us. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Wanted to ask you guys about the John Lennon songwriting competition. You guys are in the top 3.
Yeah, we entered that on a
crazy.
whim. Our drummer Dave said, "Hey, why don't we enter this?" We're like, "Oh, yeah, let's do it." We've never really entered songwriting competitions before, and just decided to take a stab at it. Kind of forgot about it, and we were actually en route to China. And I think we got home, and there was a message on our phone. It was like, "Hey, this is somebody from John Lennon Songwriting Competition. I want you to call us." It's like, "Oh, that sounds promising." So we went on their website, and there we were. Like, you know, there was one grand prize rock song winner, and then 3 rock song finalists, and we're one of the 3 finalists. So it was great. It was a large honor.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just like a feather in the cap, especially when it's bearing John Lennon's name.
Yeah.
You know, it seems extra cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
With Yoko Ono's blessing, too.
Yoko's blessing.
Nice.
There you
Double
go.
cool.
Beauty. Extensive Canadian tour is kicking off. You guys excited? And then what are the plans after that? I guess more touring? Are you going to go back to China?
Yeah, someday, hopefully. As of right now, we're just kind of staring a lot of driving square in the face. We actually...
Have you guys done it before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've gone cross-country many a times by this point, but we're just really excited to go out with Library Voices, who are based out of Regina, and Ben Sinister, who are from the West Coast.
Yeah.
So we kind of like to think about it as a full Canadian tour, lots of representation from each province. Not each province, but each territory. And yeah, it's going to be a pretty long tour, lots of dates, and clocking lots of van time. And we're very excited. A little bit tired this morning, but we're excited to start things off. The first show's today, or tonight, I guess.
Yeah, in St. Catharines.
Nice. What does it do, you know, when you're a musician and you finally make that full journey across Canada? Because it's like a moment for a lot of people. I've never driven across Canada. I'd love to.
Yeah, I don't like. We probably did our first drive across Canada maybe
3 or 4
years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, the first time we did it, it was a really long drive. I was like, "Oh, this is so beautiful." And you're just taking it all in. Like
Yeah,
the first time you
the
drive through the
mountains.
Rockies, it's completely epic. You know, your mind is blown. We'd flown over it before, and you see them, and they're small, and you don't really get the full idea. But you know, it takes like 2 hours to drive just through the
Yeah.
Rockies, and then I mean, there's 3 or 4 other mountains on the way to Vancouver too. So it's an incredible drive once you hit Calgary West. But I'll be honest, we've done that drive probably 6 to 8 times now, and somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd drive, we clued in that we should get an inverter so that we can continue powering up our laptops.
Nice.
And I have not seen the Rockies in 2 years because
I always make a point to see the Rockies.
Yeah, I don't.
I allot that time away from like Battlestar Galactica and stuff like that on laptop.
Nice. Guys, good luck on the
Thanks for
album
having
and
us.
good luck on the tour.
ExploreMusic wears English Laundry apparel.